So we check our cows at daylight every morning, and we're going. This particular cow, I could tell this morning was just in a different position, just didn't act comfortable when she was trying to calve. So I've given her an hour, and so I came back out and checked her, and I could tell that just no progress at all. And so I told my daughters to get the machinery and the ropes and the jacks and meet me out here. So we're going to have to intervene with this one, which is probably, I'm going to say 5 or 6% of the time we have problems. We have 430 mama cows, and we typically will, during the calving season, may rope 7 or 8, and some that we take to the chute, but typically we rope them because it just gives you more room to work. So we're looking for this particular cow. This set of cows is a small group, so it's not too hard to find her. So here we are. We got to get her out in the open where we can try to get a rope on her. I'm left-handed, so it allows me to rope off the four-wheeler so I can hold the throttle with my right hand. Done this a lot, and it's harder than it looks, so I'm not perfect at it for sure, as you can see. And there's a volunteer, but it didn't work out. So it's a whole lot easier to rope one on the move than it is to rope one standing still. Or for me it is. So we get her down, and typically the cow will try to pull away, and you can reverse the four-wheeler direction and put a little pressure on them, and they'll pull backward on it, which they don't have as much power to pull backward as they do forward. So you can take a 700-pound four-wheeler and put a 1,700-pound cow on the ground. This cow's probably in that 1,600 to 1,700-pound range. She's a big cow. And these are pretty gentle cows, these are, so it's not typically too hard to get a rope on this particular bunch. We've got some that are rodeo quality for sure. And we just try to heel her a little bit and stretch her out a little bit to where we can kind of control the pressure so she can breathe, and we can still manipulate her and not worry about her getting up and turning on me as I try to pull the calf out. So we just kind of put enough pressure to front and back until she kind of comes off her feet. And then I don't like it when their head is pointed downhill, so I try to roll them and get them to where they're at least flat, level, or their head's pointed somewhat uphill, so that's why I flipped her there. And then this is a calf jack. We use these a lot during calving season. This is a 2-speed jack, so you can use 2 different chains, and you put the chains on you make a little loop and put the chains on each foot, and as you jack the handle, it'll pull one side, and then it'll go and pull the other side in a different pattern, so kind of like going up a ladder. I usually start with gloves, but you just don't have the feeling to do a lot, to really be able to. You can usually slide the chains around on the feet. I could tell right away when I put my hands in there that this calf was dead. I don't think it was ever alive, and that's why she's having trouble calving. The calf is in normal presentation, feet first, and the head right behind at the knee. So everything's normal. So usually if I grab the feet and put pressure on them, I can feel them. I can pinch their feet and they'll jerk, and there was none of that. So this cow's, she's had 3 calves, so it's not like she doesn't know what she's doing. The feet feel normal size. Sometimes I've had cows that have twins, and the calves get up beside of each other, and they might not be able to get them out. When you can pull the one, then the other one will come right out. So I always check for that if I've got a dead one, and I've actually had the dead one first and then a live one behind them before. So I always check them, make sure they don't have twins. So my daughter's back there putting leverage on the end of the shaft there where she can get more, and it looks like the jack's slipped up a little bit too high. So we need to get it down on the hips a little further. And then we just tighten it back up a little bit and just use leverage, and that's a whole lot safer than just the jack is too powerful, really. So if you just tighten your chains up and then get it low and then use leverage, your strength is not enough to break a pelvis, which I have done once before. So I've learned different methods over the years to try to be safer about it. And so there's the calf coming out, and obviously dead. But you know, she's a young cow, and we don't have any idea. This is the only one that we lost out of this bunch of cows, and so I'm checking to make sure there's not a twin, and making sure that, you know, the placenta feels like it's up in the canal and going to come out. And most of the time they'll get that out of there within 3 to 5 hours afterwards, before the cervix starts to close down. So then we let the pressure off, and I take the calf around to the front so that she identifies that the calf is out, and she's not roaming the fields looking for one, because she'll automatically know that, you know, she's not in labor anymore, and she'll be hunting for a calf. And sometimes I've had them try to take other cows' calves. So if I have a dead one like this, I'll usually leave them for a little bit and let them clean them and kind of understand. They typically will understand after a little bit that something's not right, and they won't be as stressed trying to find their calf again. So she sets right up, and which is good, and just no trouble whatsoever there. So we've done this method a lot. Some people may think it's a little bit rough, but it's much more effective than taking them to the chute. We've had a lot of trouble trying to calve cows out in a head chute, getting down and no room to work. So roping is much safer.